110cc scooters, a mix of comfort, practicality, fuel efficiency, so that you can do your office commute, you can do school runs, grocery shopping, everything. Now the question is, we have two new 110cc scooters, Hero Destini 110 and a TVS Jupiter 110. Which one of these two should you opt for if you are in the market for a new 110cc scooter? That's the question we're trying to answer today. We'll ride them both back to back, look at the features, look at the comfort, look at the practicality, and finally tell you which one of these is the better buy for you today. But before that, if you're new to our channel, please do consider liking it, hit that bell so that you get notified every time we ride a new motorcycle or scooter, bring you a new interesting comparison like this, and tell you which one is the smarter buy in today's times. For now, let's take a closer look at these two scooters. As you can see, perhaps the Destini is the one which has got the safe, sort of universally appealing design. It's got a slight retro touches there. Looking at the headlight, of course, it's got a LED DRL. Lots of chrome garnishes here on the apron, on the side panels and on the tail section as well. This one, of course, is the top-end ZX variant, so you get a disc brake front. You get a chrome cover on the exhaust and you get a pillion backrest. The VX, which is roughly 7,000 rupees, less expensive than the ZX on the ex-showroom price, doesn't get this, the chrome cover on the exhaust, and of course it's got a drum brake. Those are the only difference. In terms of other features, there's no Bluetooth connectivity, no turn-by-turn navigation. It's a simple, no-frills scooter. Overall, it's got chrome touches there, which seems to be preferred by a lot of consumers, and it's got that slight retro touch. If that's the kind of design you want, then the Destini will not disappoint you. The Jupiter, on the other hand, takes the design a notch higher. It is not very flashy, not very over the top in terms of the design, but it's got that premium touch. It got that smart fit finish, excellent fit finish. The DRL is here. Of course, the turn indicators are also integrated into the DRL. And overall, in my book, it is the Jupiter which is the better looking scooter. Not that it is not universally appealing. I think a lot of consumers will also find the way the Jupiter looks very attractive from different age groups. Whether you're an 18-year-old, you're a 25-year-old, or you are a 50-year-old, you would still like the Jupiter. There's nothing to complain about the way, the stance, the proportions of the Jupiter. The Destini will perhaps have slightly different takes. It's a more subjective thing. A lot of people, particularly of the 40-50 years age group, will perhaps like it, but youngsters, 18-19-year-olds perhaps would like the Jupiter more. That's what I think. Personally, I like the stance and proportions of the Jupiter, not so much the Destini. Particularly the tail section design of the Destini is not something I'm a fan of, whereas the Jupiter, very nicely integrated, smartly designed tail section, which is pleasing to the eye. Overall, in my book, it is the Jupiter which takes this round in design and proportions. In the 110cc scooter segment, one very important consideration is practicality. And in that regard, the Jupiter has got a slightly wider floorboard area, and it's got a nice retractable hook here to carry a bag or two. And you have enough space in the floorboard. Even if you carry a small grocery bag there, you have plenty of room to keep your feet firmly. And you get a charging socket here, a pocket here to keep your phone or your wallet or anything other, water bottle perhaps small, and multifunction key, of course. And to open the fuel filler cap is positioned up front. That's because the fuel tank has been positioned under the footboard. The advantage of that is that the Jupiter has got the bigger boot, 32-33 liters of under-seat storage. It's a cavernous big boot, so you can store more items here if you decide to go shopping. Weekly vegetable shopping, weekly grocery runs, it's the Jupiter which has got more space in the boot. Now on the Destini, it's also got decent footboard space, but not so much as the Jupiter. There's also a single hook here, but it's not retractable, not smartly designed like the Jupiters. Again, it has a multifunction key. You have an external fuel filler lid, so you don't need to get down, open the seat hatch to fill fuel. Handy thing to have. But if you look at the under-seat storage space, this has just about 19 liters, which is a lot less than the Jupiter. But the Destini gets a boot light, which is a convenience, particularly if you have to look for something in the dark, then it has a boot light, which the TVS misses out on. But the TVS also gets a brake lock, which is a handy thing to have, particularly if you live in a hilly town, you want to park it on a slope, you can engage the brake with the brake lock, which the Destini does not have. The Destini also has one thing which the Jupiter doesn't have, which is this, a Kickstarter. Well, in 2026, nobody uses a Kickstarter, but Hero's given the Destini a Kickstarter. So if you're the kind of person who likes kickstarting, then yes, it has got that Kickstarter, which the Jupiter doesn't have. And in terms of features, this is a retro style design or a retro inspired design. The instrument cluster is also slightly retro style. So it's got an analog speedometer and a small digital screen which will give you a fuel gauge, odometer, trip meter and instantaneous fuel economy. That's about it. No other fancy features. You won't get Bluetooth connectivity, you won't get turn-by-turn navigation on the Destini. The Jupiter, of course, if you opt for the higher variants, which is the SmartX Connect variants, you get complete Bluetooth connectivity with turn-by-turn navigation and a long list of features. But the prices, although the entry-level prices of both these scooters are more or less similar, but if you want to opt for the extra features, you'll end up paying more for the Jupiter, particularly with the SmartX Connect features and the disc brake. The price increase goes up to roughly about 8,000–9,000 rupees between the top spec Destini and the top spec Jupiter. Now in terms of comfort, the Jupiter has got a very nice neutral riding stance. The seat is quite comfortable, your rider's triangle is very comfortable, reach to the ground is quite nice. Even if you are 5'2", 5'3", you won't have problems straddling this bike. Overall, the riding position of Jupiter is indeed very comfortable. Now to talk about pillion comfort, let me call my colleague Hansaj. Please take the rider's perch. Pillion comfort on the Jupiter is also quite nice. The seat is wide, quite comfortable place to be in. So no complaints there, but what it misses is a pillion backrest, which of course the Destini gets. Now the Destini has also got a comfortable riding position, but the design of the seat is such that it's got a slope, slight downward slope. So it is not as comfortable as a Jupiter. It's not uncomfortable per se, but because of the design of the seat, it's not very comfortable. But it also boasts of a slightly longer seat, 7/19/85 mm seat. So Hansaj, please take the rider's perch and I will take the pillion perch. If you're looking for pillion comfort, I think the Destini offers slightly better pillion comfort, more room to keep a bag. Definitely the Destini scores better in terms of pillion comfort, but rider comfort, it's the Jupiter which takes the upper hand. Demons in my head again, let me grip my lyric pit. Fire on my tongue, and now I'm pulling us. I won't stop, so don't confront too much. The boss to be a grunt. Watch my back and also front. You drop it off, I pick it up. Now we've ridden both these scooters back to back. First I'll talk about the Destini 110. That engine is very smooth, very refined, the acceleration is linear, and moment you open the throttle, this one picks up speed gently yet with an urgency which is not lethargic. What will impress you, of course, is the refinement of that engine. Very smooth, very linear, and it's quite a likable scooter. In fact, up till speeds about 80 km/h, this is a refined unit, and Hero's done a great job with this engine. Top speed, I saw a maximum speed of 92 km/h. Of course, with a lighter rider, perhaps it will go up beyond that. And 85 onwards is when the harshness starts coming in. It's not vibey per se, there's no vibrations, but the harshness of the engine is apparent beyond 85 km/h. It's best enjoyed at speeds between 70 to 80 or beyond, actually below 80 km/h speed. That is the sweet spot of this scooter, between 60 to 75 km/h. So refined engine, smooth acceleration, quite likable. In fact, as a family scooter, even for young adults who probably got their driving license, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds. The performance of the Destini will not surprise anyone. It's quite nice, quite planted, and it doesn't go very quick. Acceleration is not very quick. Not lethargic, again I'm reiterating, but it will not surprise you with its performance. So those are plus points as a family scooter which will be ridden by everyone in the family. It's got the heavier weight, of course, because of those metal panels. It's got about 114 kgs curb weight, and that translates to better stability at high speeds. The ride quality of the Destini over smooth roads is quite nice. It's a planted, stable scooter, so you won't have any reason to complain. But over broken roads, the front end tends to bounce a little bit. So it's not something which will throw you off balance, but it's noticeable on the Destini when compared back to back with the Jupiter. Now the Jupiter also has a performance advantage in terms of the torque, and that's apparent the moment you open the throttle. It is the more urgent scooter in terms of picking up speed. So if you want that kind of performance, it's a Jupiter which is more impressive in terms of outright performance. It's not scary per se, but yes, it is the quicker scooter. It feels urgent, feels quicker than the Destini 110 from a standstill, or even from 40 km per hour to about 65-70 km per hour. This one also tops with about 90-92 km per hour, but again, 110cc scooters, you're not meant to ride so fast. 60 to 70-75 is the sweet spot of the Jupiter as well, but the engine doesn't feel as strained when you're going like 85 and beyond on the Jupiter. The refinement, noise, vibration, harshness of this engine, the TVS engine, is better marginally than the Destini 110s. And in terms of stability also, although this is a lighter scooter, the fuel tank positioning on under the footboard has lowered the center of gravity, so this gives a more planted feel. The ride quality is sublime over all kinds of surfaces. This one overall has the marginally better ride quality overall than the Destini 110. In terms of stability also, when you're going through corners, of course these are not sporty scooters, but if you're taking a corner fast, it's the Jupiter which feels more planted. The chassis, the suspension, the overall package. In the dynamics department, it is the Jupiter which feels more stable, more confidence inspiring than the Destini 110. Demons in my head again, let me grip my lyric pen. Fire burning from my junk, smoking now I'm pulling suns. I won't stop, so don't confront too much, a boss to be a grunt. But in this segment of scooters, family 110cc scooters, one thing which is very pertinent, very important is fuel efficiency, and this is where the Destini 110 surprised me with its results. In our test, which included the mixed riding conditions with the city, traffic and highways, this one returned an impressive 52 kilometers per liter, which is pretty good, I would say. And the Jupiter is not far behind either. This one, over all those same conditions, returned 49 kilometers per liter, which is pretty good for this kind of segment and price point. Even then, if fuel efficiency is your primary consideration, those 2-3 kilometer per liter advantage, the Destini 110 inches ahead. But overall, in terms of performance, dynamics, ride quality, it's the Jupiter which is the better scooter. Well, time now for the verdict. Which one is the winner in this comparison? There is no easy way to answer that question. It also depends on personal preference. If you want a no-frills, simple scooter which is more fuel efficient and without too many features, the Destini is a very good choice indeed. But if you want those features, you want more performance, you want better handling, better dynamics, there's no doubt that it's the TVS Jupiter 110 which inches ahead in this comparison. You let us know which one of these two scooters will you choose, and why would you choose the one winner amongst these two in the comment section. As for me, I like the overall design of the Jupiter, the build quality, the fit finish, the dynamics, the performance, and it's got very good fuel efficiency as well. So in my book, although this will cost slightly more, it is the Jupiter 110 which inches ahead in this comparison. If you've liked this comparison, if you've liked this review, do share it ahead and leave us a comment of your thoughts on both these scooters.